Okay, one of the reasons I put the course together was because as a gay man, I found there are a lot of challenges in my life that I've faced and overcome, and some that still can pop up every now and again. So what are the challenges you've been throughout your life, not just in the last 10 minutes or whatever?
There's a few for me that jump off the page straight away.
Okay.
One is stigma of actually coming out is just the beginning. And
Right.
then when you acknowledge who you are in a work environment or in a new social setting,
Yeah.
you can sometimes have to confront that all over again. And I think for me, the thing that I've found the hardest to cope with is having gone through, I suppose, the turmoil of admitting who I am.
Yeah.
I've then looked around me at this sort of ideal that I was aiming for, and I see people who are not in relationships that I'd want to be in. And it makes you very scared to grow old alone.
I never had difficulty about coming out, though I wouldn't say I'm jumping around telling everybody every minute. People always seem to know anyway. I don't know what that's a challenge. I think it was probably more the challenge is talking about it. I think talking about it to my family was a kind of a challenge. They knew I was gay, but I never talked to them for a long while about it until fairly recently. So it was kind of a challenge to do that. So going into a gay bar is probably a challenge.
I think a lot's changed in the last 20 years since I first came to London, because before the internet arrived, that was how you met people. You went to bars, you chatted, maybe something would happen, maybe it wouldn't. Now, all that's been taken away and it's all gone online, and everything online seems to be about sex. Even the dating sites, whether it's Match or OkCupid, it still boils down to the same thing.
Right.
And what I'm noticing in the encounters that I've had with people is people numb out through drink, they numb out through drugs, or they numb out through sex, all of which are used to make themselves feel better about the things that they're not happy with in themselves, and they're looking for something to comfort.
I come from a bad experience in Italy, so at that time I had a boyfriend, and when my boss realized that I'm gay, of course he didn't want me anymore, because I didn't live in Milan or Rome, a big city. I was in a small city, and actually I wasn't even in the city, I was on the countryside, so 10,000 people. As soon as he realized that I'm gay, although I had been working for them for 10 years,
Wow.
they said, I'm so sorry, but you're gonna ruin the image of the market.
So they got rid of you.
They didn't get rid of me, because in Italy you cannot get rid of people, but they moved me 80 kilometers from my house, which it meant
It was impossible.
it was impossible. Although I resisted for 2 years, because I said, I'm not gonna let myself down because of this. I wanna show them that, but of course, there was no reason to.
So employment can actually, be a bit of a challenge then, sort of, and the attitude of other people towards sexuality as well.
Yes. Everything is about sex in London.
Right.
This is the communication, the conversation is not possible anymore, because after 3 messages, the 4th one is,
Is
what
about
are you
sex.
into?
Yeah.
So
is that a challenge to find people
it is.
beyond the sex, the
It
initial
is.
sexual encounter?
It is 100%. It's, for me, it's quite impossible at the moment. Oh, not impossible, but very, very difficult.
So I always had trouble meeting people. So that was a big challenge for me, and I didn't know anywhere to go. I didn't know groups to join or that. So finding gay friends was extremely difficult.
I'm not a gay man. Nearly 58, a couple of months. Trying to meet people, some will say, well, you're too old.
I think it's also being able to say no to things where you feel that you're in an environment, it's not in line with your values, but you fear what will happen if you say
so
no in a particular situation.
Give me an example, Craig, because we want the other guys to recognise.
So say, for example, these days I have the impression that a lot of people are getting involved in group sex.
Okay.
And they'll be in that environment and there'll be pressure on them to do certain things that perhaps they're not really in the place of wanting to do, but they don't want to say no because if they do, they'll be asked to leave the party.
Wow. Okay.
So there's a lot of peer pressure there to go down routes, and once you start down that route, it's very difficult to take yourself out of that. And I know from my own experience how dark that can get.
So the challenge in itself then is to really be yourself.
Yes.